Wow, what a movie! For a long time I haven't been impressed by a film and its protagonist in such a style as it was with this one. The story has potential to draw you in for 2 hours and not let you go until the very intense ending. What is so special about this film? Why in my opinion is acting of Brendan Fraser outstanding? Let's take a deep dive. Today we are talking about the movie The Whale. During the film we enter a world that is only a few square meters in size, but even this small space isn't used much by the main character Charlie, as he can hardly move due to his morbid obesity and just sits on his couch for most of the time. Charlie will draw you into his world for 2 hours, which is not a pleasant experience, but definitely an intense one. It could be said that this is a raw cinematic experience during which we see how difficult and unpleasant life can be, and at the same time how the relationships we have with the people around us can create a heaven on earth or hellish environment. I haven't seen anything this engaging in such a minimal setup for a long time, with almost 2 hours passing by very quickly. The fact that the entire film took place in just one room underlines how great the script and acting were. In a similar format, the last time it was probably movie The Father, which attracted me so intensely and at the same time moved me at a certain moment. It is therefore probably no coincidence that the both films were based on plays. In general, I really like these formats of films that are based on theatrical performances, where the script is so well written and the acting is so intense that the entire film can take place in a few square meters. In this case, the house is a stage for a perfect acting performance without unnecessary distractions. The film was very emotional and intimate story with many layers. Individual characters could not be easily framed as good or bad because they were quite complex. Charlie's character could be walking advertisement for a human pile of guilt and loneliness. It is sad portrayal of a character who has abdicated to life and is drowning his sorrows in an endless amount of food. The story is even more sad since Charlie is basically a good person who has an absolutely suppressed ego and just made the big mistakes and now he must live with them. It can be said that the Brendan Fraser shows to us how acting masterclass looks like. He is great in this role and after such a long time he wasn't acting, it is an amazing comeback for him. In Brendan's eyes drawn in fat and prosthetics, you can see the whole range of emotions, and this experience is quite something. The Academy probably had the same opinion since he won an Oscar for this role. If the character of Charlie was a good guy who made mistakes, then the character of Ellie couldn't be easily characterized in this way. If you want to wonder about whether she was person which Charlie or her mom saw, in fact, it could be said that both were right and her personality contained the both of these parts. Here will be a little spoiler from the film, so you can skip this 30 seconds of the video if you don't want to hear it. If you want to wonder about whether she was a person which Charlie saw or her mom saw, from my point of view, her good side was created by a loving childhood, and because of Charlie experienced her only in that way, he has of course the opinion on her based on that. The evil side was created in the moment when Charlie left her and her carefree childhood ended. She felt rejection, pain, guilt, anger, and the general alienation from the world, which resulted into the behavior that her mother saw in the last few years. Therefore, it could be said that the Charlie created Ellie as she is now. Sadie Sink's acting was great, only in the certain moments it feels a bit more theatrical than the film required, but maybe that was the intention since the film was based on the stage play. However, she complemented Brandon's brilliantly. The dynamic between them was perfect as well as acting chemistry. Their dialogues in front of camera screamed with unspoken emotions like anger, hurt, and regrets. An interesting part of the movie was also the moment when Charlie briefly saw a guy who brought him a pizza. Here will be a little spoiler again, but from overall story not a significant one. At first, I wasn't sure about Charlie's reaction, but over time, I realized that the relationship which Delivery Boy had been building with him behind closed doors for several days was destroyed in a few seconds when he saw how Charlie looks like. Because of this, Charlie probably got extreme anxiety about how he repels people around him just the way he looks. Overall, it can be said that this piece of art is demanding on emotions, and it's the film that can arouse emotions and interest in us. It's an intimate depiction which needs to be processed and may stay with you for some time. Fraser did something hard to describe, and his performance in the final graduation was touching. Also, on the slightly lighter note, I enjoy how the film points out many times the absurdity of the American healthcare system. For those of us living in Europe, it's just a difficult concept to grasp. In conclusion, it can be said that this film is a 2 hours meditation on mortality and the meaning of the relationships we create around us. I can definitely recommend movie The Whale to those who like intense movies full of complicated relationships and the complex characters. So, did you like this movie? If you already saw it, what are your thoughts about it? Did you feel compassion for Charlie or were you disgusted by him? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you like this video, you can check out my other videos on this channel. And if you know somebody who will also enjoy this content, I will be glad if you let them know. Anyway, thank you for your time and have a great day.